Here's another look at the quick strike rig. This is just a harness for your large sucker minnows. And on the front of it, I have this piece that I'll pop into his nose. And then of course there's a lead off each one of these that's got a treble hook with one barb of the treble that goes sideways. So I will insert that into the sucker like this, but when the fish gets hit, it'll break out quickly, and you want to get the sucker out of the way so that this lands in your musky. On the front of this, I'm going to use a sinker, and I've just clipped this on to this piece. You can clip it on elsewhere, but what this sinker does, the sucker is so big that what he'll actually do is he can rise in the water column, come right up to the surface. So by putting a counterweight here, I'm going to keep him into that strike zone where I want him to be.
Oh, here comes the meat and potatoes, guys.
There you go. Holy cow, what? Is that the same thing you guys know, or what?
Just a little smaller.
That's the step down. That's the step up.
Oh, jeez.
What the hell are those? That's the step up. Those are the large. Now, this is a medium sucker. They're about $6 a piece. They have a large one which is about twice this length, and they're about 10 bucks a piece. You also have to buy a harness. This is a large harness which will fit a minnow like that. They also sell a medium harness if you're using a smaller sucker. So all I'm going to do is just insert this piece through the nose of the fish. It's actually the mouth, because I'm not actually going into the nostril of the fish. There is no barb on the front. All that is just a harness to kind of hold them steady. Now the muskie, when he hits this fish, is going to hit it sideways like this. So for that reason, I want to be able to place these barbs in the middle of the fish, and in order to punch through those thick scales, I'm going to have to remove some. And now I'm just going to take this single barb and just put it in the flesh underneath the backbone. And now I've got that barb ready. I'll do the same thing on the other side. I haven't got a hook in my hand yet, but it can be a little dangerous because the fish, if he wants to kick, or the minnow I should say, can really jump around on you. It almost looks like I'm placing these in the same spot, but what I want is I just want it on his back. I have put it further into the tail sometimes, but I haven't put it further into the nose. Now, I've got one on each side. I got the harness in the front. I got my sinker up here. Let's get him in the water. Here's my sucker just swimming free in the water. And he's swimming very naturally, going forward. I got my sinker. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bobber here. And if I didn't have a bobber, this fish could just go right down to the bottom. He would tuck into the weeds. What the bobber does is it prevents the sucker from going deeper than what the bobber has set. And of course the sinker keeps him staying right down in the strike zone. So if I'm fishing in 8 feet of water and I want to put this 4 feet in the water column, I can adjust the bobber length to set it. If I'm deeper, I'll just put the bobber a little higher up on the line. So I've set my lines out. We're running 2 lines. And as you can see, there's a bobber that clearly identifies both, of course. All I'm doing is I got my rod and a rod holder, and I set the clicker. So if a fish hits that, this thing's going to click out like that. I'm running right along a weed bed, a drop off. So on the one hand it's 3 feet of water, and then right there it's like 27 feet. I'm keeping my speed very slow, and I'm trying to travel about a half a mile an hour or less. But that's difficult to do. Sometimes you got to be in the wind. And all that, if we were stationary, that minnow, he's just swimming along like that. The purpose of just using the electric trolling motor to cover a little ground is just to present that bait in an area where we might get a strike. Let's see if he's there.
He's there.
Oh, take him. I got my first muskie on Detroit Lakes ever. It's my first muskie ever. I don't know how big he is, but we better get the net right now. Oh my God, this is a giant.
It's a big one.
I don't know how big this is, but if you can see it, I think it's a 50.
It is monster.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna turn him to get him up. He's got this bait. Look at how big he is. Oh, he just let go of it. Oh, okay, let's grab the net here because he's gonna run it. Oh. See, my bobber is preventing me from lifting this thing up. I have this gigantic bobber on here, and what it does is it keeps my live bait rig from swimming down. I'm trolling with the trolling motor quite slow, and as you can see, these here are the mediums. It's a harness on the front, and then there's 2 trebles on the sides with 1 hook bent so they pop out quickly. And what happens is that muskie hits it from the side, and then the trebles get seated and the bait fish goes away. But the problem I had was that I had so much line out that when I actually cranked up my rod, I couldn't crank any further because that bobber was preventing me from doing it. So we're just resetting. It's really calm weather. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're coming up on the exact same spot we hit the previous muskie. It's probably how we're going to ramp up the day. There's another boat that's right next to us doing the exact same thing. In fact, it's been so good we went and got some more minnows. So we'll see what happens here. But if you want to fish muskie, I'd say this is the place to be. You got a great chance.